Tom Dillon, the Lifetime Liberal, and today is Monday, May 9th, 2016. And this is in response to Dr. Paul Krugman's article in the New York Times, The Making of an Ignoramus. Now, it's really funny that Dr. Krugman starts out by basically pointing out that not only is Trump ignorant, but he is, when you realize how ignorant he is, then you realize he's really more ignorant than what he really is. And the biggest thing that this has to do with is Trump's remarks last week that it was okay to default on our national debt, and he refers to it as term as paying less than full price to the assets. And of course, this is something that has been sacred in the United States economic system, and it goes back to Alexander Hamilton in the very early 1800s, is that we do not default on our debt, that we pay the full obligation of our debts. And right now, the United States is the absolute safest place in the world, and has been for a considerably long time, for people to put their money in. We pay very, very low interest rates compared to other countries. And why do they do that? Because these people want, companies want, organizations want, sovereign nations want to put their money in the safest place possible, and that is with the United States. And we will continue to honor that. We will not default on that debt. So, and of course, why is he saying all this? Is because basically he's saying that everything is negotiable and that he's going to shake things up. But let's get something straight here right now. The Republican Party is basically a scam organization. It's like a mafiosa. It's like the mafia in the sense that you only get to the top by strictly adhering to the rules within the organization. And that is, you adhere to those policies 100% completely. Now, Trump is adhering to those economic policies, but he's shaking them up a little bit. But they hate him on his social policies. But when it comes to the debt crisis, remember, the debt crisis is a conceived, a contrived, made-up problem that the Republicans established in 2009 after Obama got into the White House, basically to delegitimize him and the Democrats, and basically indicate that the debt is so staggering that it will be run out for, that we will be paying it off forever and forever. Now, of course, the debt that we have is not that great. It is easily worked on. And remember that all of these Republicans that brought all this stuff up, McConnell, Paul Ryan, who's a true scam artist, brought all this up in 2009 after they had voted to increase the debt several times under Bush. They're refusing to do it under Obama, and they're even going to the point where they would say that there would be a debt crisis if they didn't get the concessions that they wanted. Now, these Republicans have been crying about the debt, and the reason why they're crying about the debt is strictly so, as a mafiosa organization, they can legitimately, legally channel money to the rich. That's basically what they want to do. All right, just like the regular mafia channels money up top to the top, they want to channel money up to those that are rich. And of course, they have all an elaborate means of double talk, double speak, to make it sound like this is the best way for America to get going again. And of course, their concept of tax cuts for the rich, pay for themselves, has never, ever, ever worked out. But again, the real reason why they're doing it is to channel money to the rich, and basically to screw the average working person by cutting off Social Security and cutting off Medicare. Now, Trump is in on the con on other things in terms of cutting taxes for the rich, but he sort of is actually pretending that he's believing in this thing, that the debt is really a serious issue when it's really not. So he's ignorant of the fact that he's ignorant. He doesn't even realize that the Republicans are using it for their own enrichment. and basically meaning to enrichment for their patrons, which are the rich, the powerful, the organizations and companies that want to run the world with a minimum of oversight as possible. And basically it is to screw you out of every single thing that a government should be doing to help the people, help the commons. So again, it's there to delegitimize. They're there to delegitimize Obama and the Democrats, to channel money to the rich. And basically what Trump is, in essence, he is unaware that he is unaware, as we say. And he's buying into this whole thing. And the absolute idea that any nominee for the President of the United States would even make the statement that they actually believe that it's okay to default on the debt for having investors to take a lower amount strictly so he can reduce the debt shows that he is completely unaware that he is unaware. And Dr. Krugman again points out another thing, is that, you know, there was another thing Trump was unaware of. Oh, he said that NAFTA was signed by Clinton when it was signed by Bush, and that on the other side with Hillary, I'm not going to talk about Bernie right now. The presumptive nominee is Hillary. Is that she's been really good on her numbers. She's been floating out a lot of stuff that she thinks can actually be done given the circumstances that we're in right now, whereas Trump is just throwing off all kinds of happy horse crap that can't even remotely come close to being true. But again, that's part of the Republican orthodoxy, is you make these wild claims, and then if they don't happen, of course, you blame the Democrats for all of them. But Hillary, there is a lot of truth into what Hillary has to say. She's playing close to her numbers. She's talking about what it could be legitimately possible to do within the next administration. But Trump is just just throwing out there a whole bunch of happy horse crap. And the concept that we would ever default on our debt is something that should never, ever come out of the words of anyone who should be running for the highest office in the land.